Hello guys, as always I'm Sam McCoy and I have t-shirts now. So this requires a little bit of explanation. One day I logged onto my Facebook account and I saw two of my friends were having a disagreement over which Pokemon was better, Mewtwo or Lugia. Now because I'm a Pokemon fan, I always have been ever since I was little, but more than that I am an enormous dork. So I took this farther than anyone healthily should have, and I went through all the trouble of writing out a huge essay in the comments section about which one was better, Mewtwo or Lugia. And the following is what I found, so I hope you guys enjoy. Now, gathering all this information together wasn't exactly easy, so I'm pretty glad that I figured out the thing has a cloning function. Isn't that right, clones? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Army of clones doing my bidding and researching nerdy topics. What couldn't I accomplish? Oh, be quiet. So alright, buckle in kids, class is in session. Allow me to sit you down and use my vast nerdy knowledge to tell you exactly which one of these two Pokemon will win in a fight. It's time for a Pokemon battle done my way. Clone, will you please explain the ground rules? Absolutely, sir. So for any of you out there with any kind of Pokemon knowledge and really like to train, who would like to know the rules that we're running in this contest, we are running off the assumption that these two legendaries are meeting in the wild and battling as they could on their own. There will be no trainer-assisted items, which means we'll be excluding any items that they could get from a trainer. Mewtwo's Mega Forms will be excluded because it requires both the Mega Stone and a trainer to activate it. There will be no TMs or HMs. And finally, there will be no move tutors because we're counting the move tutor as a trainer, and this is all without a trainer. Yes. Thank you, clone. That'll be enough. Yes, sir. I'm going back to my game now. So first, let's look at these two in terms of the most basic advantage any Pokemon can have on another. Typing. Every Pokemon has either one or two types, each with their own strengths and weaknesses against other types. Mewtwo is only one type, Psychic. And since we're excluding his Mega Forms, that means he will only ever be Psychic. Lugia, on the other hand, is both Psychic and Flying, meaning he gets the strengths and weaknesses of both. Now, when a Pokemon performs an attack that is the same type as the user, it gets a boost called Stab. S-T-A-B. Same type attack boost. All that really means is that it does 1.5 times the initial amount of damage that move would do. Now, because both Pokemon have Psychic typing, the Stab really wouldn't help either of them. Psychic type resists Psychic moves. Therefore, if either of these two combatants use a Psychic type move in battle against each other, it would only do 0.75 times the initial damage. So really not that big of an advantage for them. However, Lugia does have one leg up on Mewtwo because he is Flying type, which means that his Flying type moves will do 1.5 times the initial damage against Mewtwo since he doesn't resist it being Psychic. Okay, now all that was really hard to follow if you're not a Pokemon player, so let me say it this way. Mewtwo, on his own, has no exact strength to fight against Lugia, but Lugia doesn't have much strength to fight against Mewtwo either, so they're pretty even on this field. However, because of Lugia's Flying type, I have to give 1 point to him when it comes to typing. Now let's look at the move pools that both of our combatants have available to them. Mewtwo has a very shallow move pool in terms of what he can do, with most of his moves being either Psychic type or Normal type. The two exceptions to this are the Fighting type move Aura Sphere or the Ice type move Mist. As we've already established, Psychic type moves won't exactly help out Mewtwo too much in this competition, and neither will his Fighting type move. You see, Lugia is both Psychic type and Flying type, both of which resist fighting. But Aura Sphere would only do 0.25 times the initial amount of damage against Lugia. Having an Ice move against the Flying type would usually be great if it wasn't Mist. Mist is a non-damaging move, so Mewtwo really doesn't have much to go on here aside from his normal type attacks. And all of Mewtwo's attacks are either resisted by or do only normal damage against Lugia. Now let's take a dive in Lugia's move pool. Here's a legendary with a super diverse range of moves. He has access to Normal, Psychic, Flying, Rock, Water, and even Dark type moves. He's well equipped to deal with most situations well, while also being able to bolster his own attack with moves like Ancient Power, which boost almost all of his attack stats at once. He even has access to the powerful Dark type move, Punishment, which would be super effective against Mewtwo, causing a 2 times damage on it. As an ace in the hole, Lugia could do Sky Attack. With a base damage of 140 multiplied by the 1.5 times damage ratio of his stab moves, if Lugia used Sky Attack, it would be a whopping 210 base power against Mewtwo. Now for those of you who don't know a lot about Pokemon metagame, that is a lot. In conclusion, point number 2 goes to Lugia. Alright, stats and moves are all well and good, but it's the actual physical skills of a fighter that really decide a match. Right, clones?
Yep, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, so let's check out the physical abilities of both of these fighters. Starting off with Mewtwo again. He's a humanoid Pokemon standing at 6 feet 7 inches tall and weighing in at 269 pounds, making him roughly the same average size and weight as, let's say, a basketball player. Mewtwo's a strong offensive player with a base attack stat of 110 bolstering his physical punches and kicks, along with a ridiculously high special attack of 154, which will affect his mental abilities and all of his special attacks. His speed allows him to take advantage of this power by outspeeding most opponents. This way he can attack them before they're able to set up a defense and counter his moves. Despite all of his offensive capabilities, Mewtwo's a bit of a glass cannon. With his defense and special defense stats both set at 90 points, he can't take a lot of punishment before going down. In short, Mewtwo is designed to hit fast, hit hard, but if you can't take him down in the first 2 punches, he might as well be out. Now for the contender. Lugia is a large bird-like Pokemon with features of both whales and birds. He's able to telepathically communicate, just like Mewtwo is, putting them on roughly the same psychic ability level, and he's able to fly by flapping his wings. Lugia stands at about 17 feet and 1 inch tall, and he weighs in at a whopping 476.2 pounds. Now all that bulk really shows in his stats, showing that he can take a lot of damage, a lot of hits, at the expense of a little bit of speed. Lugia has a defense of 130 and a special defense of 154. In physical fighting terms, this means that Lugia can roll with punches and kicks just fine, but if you throw fire, water, electricity at him, it's just gonna shrug right off. He doesn't even care. He will shrug that stuff off like you just threw a clump of dirt at an oncoming train. Now, while Lugia can roll with the punches, he has a bit of trouble dealing out damage with both his attack and special attack being set at a base of 90. And while his bulk does support his defense, it does slow him down significantly, bringing him to only 110 base speed. In conclusion, Lugia is a bit of a siege weapon. You throw him out in the game and he sits there soaking up tons and tons of damage, shrugging it off like it's nothing, all the while chipping away at the enemy. The point, again, goes to Lugia. Alright, let's do this. Time for me to take all this stuff that the clones have been researching and decide which one would win in a fight. Realistically speaking, Lugia has far more he can do against Mewtwo. Mewtwo can outspeed Lugia any day, but all that speed and all of his impressive attack stats are rendered worthless when none of his attacks can really do any serious damage due to the lack of diversity in his move pool and a high resistance by his enemy. Couple all that with Lugia's incredible defensive abilities, matching Mewtwo's offensive abilities point for point, and you really see how ineffective Mewtwo would really be against Lugia. Lugia, on the other hand, has a ton of neutral damage moves he can use, plus 3 stab moves that would benefit him, one of which is the previously mentioned Sky Attack, which, when multiplied with a base damage of 210, would do massive damage regardless of Lugia's 90-point attack stat. Besides that, Lugia has access to the super effective move Punishment. He can use Ancient Power to boost all of his stats at once. On top of that, Lugia towers over Mewtwo, a full 10 feet taller and weighs almost twice as much. Meaning that even if they were both tired out, even if all their move points were gone, even if it came down to just fisticuffs, Lugia could step on Mewtwo. Lugia simply has a more defensive battle strategy, and it perfectly counters Mewtwo's Fire and Forget abilities. And while they're both great Pokemon, I love them both dearly, I have to declare the winner of this battle to be the Guardian of the Ocean, Lugia. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a little bit. What did you guys like about this? Did you guys like the clone? Would you possibly be interested in seeing more stuff like this? I got super crazy analytical on this, and also I would like to thank the 2 friends that were having this fight on Facebook and made me want to make this. I would like to thank my friends Grant Stoner and Tyler Newman. They live in the next state over from me, and I love these guys dearly. If you want to, you can check them out right here at this link. At this point, Grant is on 2 channels that I know of. One is Crip Sauce, where both he and Tyler talk about video games, or they did for a little bit, and I'm gonna try and advertise them. And the other one is his gaming channel. So you can click those here and here if you're interested. They're both nerds and I love them. Alright guys, that's it for me. I'm gonna go see how many clones I can make and how many it would take to take over the world. So as always, I've been Sam McCoy, the MC Coy, and I hope you had fun. See you later.